Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going better than fantastic. And your journey to self-betterment is going even better. Today I wanted to talk about an important topic, which ironically relates to a news story that came out of Sweden. Keep in mind, all parties are innocent until proven guilty in this story. However, a Stockholm Swedish woman that is 70 years of age is being investigated for keeping her 41-year-old son locked up in what was said to be a filthy apartment for 28 years. According to reports, the 41-year-old man had slurred speech, no teeth and sores on his legs. His mother denied any wrongdoing. Now again, because all parties are innocent until proven guilty. But with that being said, what type of situation or scenario does this sound like to you? If, and I stress if the allegations are true, what type of mother would do this to their son? Or possibly even a daughter if that were the case? And if so, how would someone, such as the mother to a son or daughter, get away with such a thing for decades? Here's the question that I would like you to ask yourself. Do we give more benefits of the doubt to mothers that might have such a problem over fathers as a society? Again, it's just a question. It's just a question. I have a friend that watched the Joker movie just recently. And he didn't realize the mother's problem until it was announced 3/4 into the movie. And then it made sense to my friend. Keep in mind this is the one of a small amount of my close friends of mine that knows how I grew up. As I do not think it's a benefit to tell this person and that person your personal business in society. Because either people won't understand or they might use such information to cause you some sort of trauma later on. Or they will use it as a source of gossip to spread. However, this one friend that knows my situation said, "James, I thought of you once it came to be clear what the Joker's mother's problem was." I told my friend, from the first scene with the Joker and his mother, I knew what the problem was. He seemed shocked. I said, "Hey, I lived it. And that's the house I got out of." But you see, there are plenty of men and women stuck in such a home because of brainwashing by their narcissist mother and or narcissist father. However, my question is, does society see things differently when we are talking about a mother and father? Do they think, "Oh wow, that poor lady has a mentally ill son," or "that nice young man is living with his sick mother taking care of her. Isn't that nice?" And it appears, and I stress the word appears, that their alarm bells don't go up. That this young man isn't out there living his life. Or how did this young man or young woman become so strange? Is it possibly something this narcissist parent did to them to make them that way? You see, my brother became a very strange and weird person. Because my mother made him that way on purpose. And the reason why she made him that way is because she didn't want him to have the ability to leave her. You see, if my mother had put in the time to be a normal parent, and didn't do what she did to my father and we were to have a normal life, my mother wouldn't have to worry about being alone. She would have 2 sons making sure of that. And making sure she was taken care of. While we would be out thriving and living our own lives. With her still included in our lives. But the narcissist mother or father, they don't want normal. They want narcissistic supply. They want chaos, drama and control. So when my mother realized I wasn't going to go her way, she turned her attention onto my brother. You see, when you grow up in a home with a narcissist parent or parents, You likely grow up with strange behavioral traits. Because the narcissist wants you to be strange and weird. Because if you are strange and weird, you will have a hard time keeping normal friends and being around healthy people. Because healthy people will see something is off about you and will be repelled. And you won't even know it's happening to you. Much like the parent that overfeeds their son or daughter to make sure they are overweight and develop all kinds of health problems. Or the narcissist parent can pretend to be the caregiver. Meanwhile, the son or daughter doesn't get to form a normal existence to where they can move forward with their life in a healthy way. And my mother played up the victim role to the hilt. Many of you know. I became the scapegoat. However, when I left my home of origin, and I was no longer there to fulfill that role, my mother put my brother in that role of scapegoat. Oh no. She was dealing with her mentally ill son that might lose his cool at any moment is what she told people. And yes, he did have a temper problem. But this was a problem that I believe was induced in him. So he could pop off at the right time and my mother could gain narcissistic supply from people that didn't know any better. Yes. My mother too was seen as strange. It was obvious talking to my mother even for a few minutes there was something up with her. However, my mother was given the benefit of the doubt with every lie she told and with nearly every interaction she had with myself and my brother and my late father. Meaning if someone noticed something going on, they would quickly take my mother's side. They would quickly forget about her strange and weird ways. It's a mother. And we need to come to her rescue. But what if someone would have asked some questions? My brother and I went to court while my mother was going against my father to keep my father from seeing my brother and I. And so she could get full custody and the money that would come with such a thing. And though my mother played the victim like no one else could play it, they could clearly see that she was weird and strange. Yet no one questioned it. I've mentioned before. My mother was a combination of an overt and covert narcissist. My mother was loud at times. She made sure the attention was all on her. And loved to make sure we, meaning myself and my brother, were embarrassed at all times. Yet my mother was slick and sly with her lies and manipulation. But with that being said, the courts did what they say was in the best interest of my brother and myself. However, they never checked on us to see how their little experiment went and to see how we were doing while under my mother's care. We were just another number. You see. I don't care if it's a narcissist father or mother. Narcissism is narcissism. And it literally ruins a great many people's lives. However, I do have that question. Do narcissists' mothers in our society get a pass to ruin their sons' and daughters' lives? When it's pretty obvious something is wrong in some of these homes. I say some. Because some narcissist parents are covered through and through. But some aren't. Some, like my mother, you can clearly tell. Though she was friendly and nice to people in public, which was her cover, she was clearly a strange person too. And didn't have her priorities together. My mother never worked a job ever a day in her life. And always had a way to get through life without lifting a finger to do so. Like collecting money for my brother and I breathing air. My mother didn't parent my brother and I. We didn't learn how to get along in the world from my mother. We were a check. And how other people couldn't see it? Or at bare minimum, how they didn't question it is beyond me. Yes. I know my mom lied really, really well. And yes, she played the victim card very, very well. But no one raised their hand to say or ask. What is she teaching these two youngsters? This lady is all over the place. She's getting a check for them. Yet she's a hoarder and buys junk with their check. Oh. That's right. She said a friend gave her the money to buy the junk. These were the lies that my mother would tell that one could tell they were obvious lies. I don't think there was anyone that believed these types of lies my mother would tell. Yes. My mother would tell well-crafted lies that would fool the best of them. But then she would have lies she would tell. Most people would just roll their eyes as if to say, Okay lady, you're lying right now. But how did our lives go on and on in such a situation? How did no one question things? Then I go back to this news story. If the allegations are true, and I'm careful to say the word if the allegations are true, did someone notice the weird dynamic between the son and the mother when he wasn't 41 but when he was a young lad in school? Where is his father? Was he just like the mother or was he pushed away? You see, if there is a difference on how we treat mothers and fathers, it needs to stop. Because when we turn a blind eye to something that is right in our face simply because society says, oh, they can't be a bad person because they are a mother, this could leave an open field for narcissist mothers to literally ruin their sons' and daughters' lives. Oh, and I have an interview video that I will be uploading soon. I'm interviewing someone named Mary that wanted to tell her story of growing up with a narcissist mother, and how it ruined her life. And I think you will find it very interesting. But the fact is, if narcissism and personality disorders are acknowledged in family court, and those with such disorders might accuse the other spouse of things they aren't guilty of, no matter if it's the father accusing the mother or the mother accusing the father, or whatever combination you can come up with. Narcissists are liars. And they use their sons and daughters as possessions and pawns in their game. And they don't just want to have their son or daughter there to take care of them when they are old. They want to ruin their lives. So their son or daughter will live a messed up life and will eventually die alone. You see. Some. Not all. But some narcissists' parents will die with all kinds of people around them. But the son or daughter they ruined, I mean really ruined, they usually die alone with no friends, no family, no nothing. That court didn't check on my brother and myself. Nor did anyone from the court check on my brother or myself. Narcissism is something that affects men and women. I get messages from men and women both here on my channel, talking about their narcissist mother, their narcissist father, their narcissist brother, their narcissist sister, their narcissist husband, their narcissist wife. But the question is, how does society see things? And does the narcissist use how society sees things to their advantage? And is there an advantage? And I believe these are the questions that people need to raise about our family law system. Because how many young men and women's lives were completely sabotaged because they were brainwashed and stuck in a home they couldn't get out of? How many? I'm curious to hear your answers below. Also be on the lookout for the interview with Mary coming soon. And I want to say thank you all so much for your support. It really means a lot to me. I'm just a little cartoon man trying to get the word out about this problem we call narcissistic abuse, and the many layers of it. So thank you for being a part of this channel. It really means a lot to me. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.